After the horrible disappointment of the Democrats taking the House of Representatives on Tuesday night, we will look at where we go from here and where we are. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. There's a lot of people that you and I talk to that will say, boy, America's headed in the wrong direction, or we're trying to fight against what we don't want to become. We already are something that's unrecognizable from when I was born. We're already unrecognizable from what we were when someone was born in 1980 or 1985. I'm looking at a website right now called Axios Firsts, 2018 midterm elections that made history. The first Somali American Congresswoman, the first Muslim Congresswoman, the first openly gay man to win the governor race. That's in Colorado, as you probably know. The youngest woman ever elected. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a hardcore socialist, openly socialist, 29 years old. Sharice Davids, first lesbian Native American, in Congress. Chris Pappas, New Hampshire's first openly gay member of Congress. This was unthinkable 20 or 30 years ago. I want you to just bear with me for 1 minute, okay? I'm going to talk about what President Trump accomplished, what it means for the House to be lost. We're in for some dark times. But friends, listen to me. We already are an unrecognizable, hedonistic, anti-Christian populace. You have to grasp that. We are no longer trying to keep America from becoming evil. America has become evil. And President Trump and the people that are rallying around him, an unlikely leader, I might add, we are completely on defense. And we're losing. We lost the House. And we lost the House to some really rabid people. So it's a time to grieve. The Bible says, let your joy be turned to sorrow. And I'm going to say this. We'll get to the political ramifications and political accusations. But if you look at the numbers in some of the House seats that were lost, where there was not a gubernatorial race and there was not a Senate race, all right? There were states this year that did not have a governor's race or a U.S. Senate race. The voter turnout was so abysmal, it was like handing the Democrat the seat. Why is that? Why is it that our Christian leaders, that our pastors, our priests, are not shouting from the housetops that the one peaceful way, the one partisan or nonpartisan way, whatever you want to call it, the one way that we can help get America back on track is through the elected office. It's not a cure-all. All right, we need revival. We need repentance. We need the laws of God to be openly heralded and respected again. But politics is a part of the equation because so much of what is going wrong in the country is happening in the political realm. All right? If somebody is suffering from cancer, you don't say, I'm going to send you to a really good chiropractor. You treat them for cancer. You treat them where the ill is. And the huge ills that are happening to our country are largely coming from the judiciary and from politics, from elected office. So that's where we have to fight for righteousness. Why are so few Christians involved? It's mind-boggling to me and terribly disappointing. I've got to take a break and we'll talk about what did go right, what went wrong, and what it means for the next 2 years. Don't go away. Warrior Guitars. Without question, the best guitar I've ever played, heard, or seen is a Warrior. The owner of Warrior, Jay Dran, has an incredible testimony of redemption and healing. God gave him the vision to start Warrior Guitars and a passion to make the best guitars in the world. They only make about 120 guitars a year, each one by hand. Maybe one of them could be yours, or a once-in-a-lifetime gift for someone you love.
The one thing that I can tell you is this is the most finely crafted guitar I have ever held. I've played a lot of guitars, I own a lot of guitars, and although the quality is exceptional on all of them, this is by far the most finely crafted instrument I own or have ever played. And I'm glad I own it.
Contact my friends at Warrior Guitar. Tell them Randall Terry sent you. All right, what does this all mean? First of all, a so-called blue wave is an overstatement. The Democrats did take the House, but I want you to think something through with me. Everywhere that President Trump campaigned hard for a U.S. Senator, Missouri, Republican won. Montana, the Republican won. Texas, Ted Cruz won. Mississippi, the female there is in a runoff, but she's going to win in the runoff. President Trump will campaign for her there, and she'll win in the runoff. Florida, Governor Scott beat incumbent Nelson, Senator Nelson. So where we saw the president really throw down, he won. The people he stood with won. That's a huge thing to remember, friends. Now, let's go back over to the House. Nancy Pelosi is now going to become the Speaker of the House unless she faces a serious internal challenge. There were some Democrats who were running. There's a Democrat who won a House seat in Nebraska who vowed before the election that he would not vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. So I don't see her not becoming Speaker. But nevertheless, one little bit of sunshine news is that really left-wing crazies like Gillum down in Florida and the lady who was running for governor in Georgia, there were some people in Texas, you had the guy who's running against Ted Cruz, that the people who were super far left and aggressive about it, they did not win. But a lot of that is because of President Trump and the voter turnout in those states. So what this means is that, here's the really bad news. Nancy Pelosi is a shrewd and evil woman. Okay? She single-handedly got the health care bill passed for Obama without reading the bill. And it was like 2,000 pages, okay? She bragged, boasted, we have to pass it so that we can read it and find out what's in it. People were saying, look, you haven't even given people time to read this. We have to pass it like it is. She's shrewd. She's aggressive. And they will meet. They are meeting now. And you're now going to have people like Maxine Waters and Schiff and others that are just left-wing, aggressive, pro-abortion, anti-Christian, anti-Trump lunatics, okay? You are going to have them in charge of various committees in the House of Representatives. They have the power for subpoena. They have the constitutional duty of oversight. They are going to do everything they can to bog President Trump down. That is going to be their mission, to bog him down, to bog his staff down. They're talking about Maxine Waters trying to subpoena his tax records or another subcommittee. I mean, you thought Maxine Waters was a danger before? Just watch. Just watch. And if they begin impeachment proceedings, listen, Bill Clinton was impeached, okay? But he wasn't removed from office because removal from office requires the Senate as well. President Trump could be impeached by the House for heaven knows what, okay? But the Senate, with a 54, 55 seats, whatever we have right now, it's still unclear because of one or two races. The race in Florida might be recounted. The race in Arizona, we're still not sure. But whatever the number ends up being, the Republican-controlled Senate is not going to remove President Trump from office. It's not going to happen, all right? So unless there's some horrible crime that actually is uncovered, which I don't buy it. I just don't see it. I don't buy it. But what we have is the ability to bludgeon him over and over and just use him as a punching bag. And if you think it was bad before watching fake news CNN, think with me how many headlines and how many hours of coverage they devoted to Mueller and his fake Russia investigation and Stormy Daniels, the hooker. Okay? Think of how many hours they devoted with just threads, just frantic to speak negatively of the president. And now think of what they are going to have to cover if Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi try and kill Trump, cut him with 1,000 strokes, just keep on cutting him day after day. You can just see Jim Acosta, you can see John King, these other people standing there talking about the latest action of such and such subcommittee against the president of the United States. How can his presidency survive? And it's all in the hopes of them defeating President Trump in 2020. That's what this is all about now, okay? That is what we have now gone into a 2-year election cycle about the presidency in 2020. I'll be right back. Please don't go away. Have Muslim terrorists hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam? Or is there more to the story? The answer lies in the life of one man, Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Muslim terrorists see themselves inside a 1,400-year-old story, a narrative that focuses on specific events in the life of Muhammad. We are going to look at Muhammad's life using their most sacred literature. We will look at Muhammad at the Battle of Badr. We'll see him deal with those who mock him. We'll see the times when he used deception. We'll witness Muhammad's anti-Semitism. And yes, we will discuss Muhammad and his teachings concerning sex, slavery, and jihad. Friend, if you want to understand Islamic terrorism, get this series today. We are in desperate need of righteous men and women in government. If you look at the book of Judges and look at who God raised up, it's amazing. And then, of course, we see what happens in the scriptures when evil women, such as Jezebel or Athaliah, were leading. Things were bad. And in the spirit of true Elijah-esque, the prophet Elijah-esque mockery, we're going to show you the Year of the Hag. We did show this one other time on the program. We've been getting a lot of fun reviews. A lot of people who hate me, which is fun, by the way. This is a video that we put together to discuss Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi. We're going to have to change this. We're going to have to make a couple of changes in this video to bring it up to the current situation, which we will do. But in the meantime, please enjoy the Year of the Hag.
You cannot be civil. I prepared to be president.
legislator.
Master legislator. Master legislator.
Lying, lying, lying. Dianne Feinstein trying to rob a court.
I did not leak her story. I did not.
Her blood red hands just wanna abort. Throw my babies in a garbage bag. I bet you Obama gonna dress up in drag. 'Cause this is the year of the hag. Now CNN and the New York Times got their own lying tongues to wag. Covering up all Hillary's crimes could make a maggot gag. But the truth is bringing relief from all these lying nags. So we're hanging out with our commander-in-chief, ignoring your useless facts. You've opened our eyes with your nasty swag. 'Cause this is the year of the hag.
Be nasty.
Please keep marching under Hillary's flag. 'Cause this is the year of the hag. Hashtag me, baby. What's your hashtag? I don't know my children seen that. And your little dog, too.
Like Baba Yaga.
And by the way, there are some really righteous women. I hope you enjoyed that, Baba Yaga. There are some really righteous women in government, and they are like Deborah in the Bible. There are, thank God, for righteous women in the scriptures and in modern times and throughout history. God save us. God save us. I've got to take a break. We'll be right back. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, "I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life." Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700 or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Friend, we have a series that will help you and those you love to have an impact on this country. It's called Insurrecta Nex. That's Latin for revolution against the killing of innocent people. This is the history, the philosophy, and the theology of social revolution in America. We look at the Stamp Act, the Boston Tea Party, the abolition of slavery, the abolition of child labor, women's voting rights, the civil rights movement. All of them have this in common: courage, sacrifice, dedication, and in-your-face tactics and rhetoric. That's one of the reasons that we've been losing the culture wars the last 40 years, is because the bad guys are using these tactics and we aren't. We will send you this 14-part TV series along with these manuals for students, a teacher's facilitator guide for only $40. Go to 304-289-3700, 304-289-3700. Have you ever considered running for office? Have you ever considered running for office? If you're even remotely interested, pray about it. Maybe contact me. Let me tell you something about federal elections. Federal elections, in some ways, are the last place for true free speech. Now, what I mean by that is this. In a federal election, whether it's a primary, a general, or a special election, the law states that for 45 days prior to the date of the election, whichever one it is, that a federal candidate must have access to run his commercials on a licensed television station, a station that has a license from the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC. So the FCC and the FEC, Federal Election Commission, our country has made it so that if you are running for federal office, and by the way, that just means the president, the U.S. Senate, or the House of Representatives. It does not mean governor of any state. It does not mean state assemblyman. It does not mean dog catcher. It does not mean mayor. It doesn't mean any other state or local office. It only means, the law only refers to federal candidates for president, the U.S. Senate, or the U.S. House of Representatives. And it states specifically that ads may not be censored. They may not be altered. The stations may not deny the candidate the time. Now, please understand, candidates still have to buy the time, right? If you want a commercial to run, you have to pay for it like everyone else. And there are political rate cards. And during the election season, the price of commercials goes up. It's all about supply and demand, right? So Google, Bing, Yahoo, these people that control these search engines, Facebook, they are slowly but steadily crushing dissent, silencing opposition, just erasing them. I tell people, they still can't believe it. If you put my name in quotes, Randall Terry, in a Yahoo search engine for news, okay? You click on the little news button, there's a search bar, it says Yahoo, put in Randall Terry, in quotes, that's the way you make it work so that you don't get any other Randalls or any other Terrys. Nothing comes up. It says our search engine did not find any matches. Somebody at Yahoo has deliberately, literally erased me from the news in their search engine. Now, mind you, I've been interviewed by Dan Rather, Leslie Stahl, been on Oprah. I mean, front page of the New York Times, the Rolling Stone. Gone. Just gone. Because of my message. All right? That's all that it's about. It's about the message, about the words that I say, about what I call people to do. When I send out a press release right now about Islam or about our movie, Muhammad in His Own Words, doesn't even show up. Literally, Google, Bing, they just don't even let it show up. So that's what we're facing. But in a federal campaign, you can prophesy. So I'm asking you to pray about it. Contact me if you want to talk about it. Go to our website, randallterry.com. There's contact information there. You can email me. Put in the subject, I'm interested in learning more about running for office, something like that. But if you want to prophesy in your state, I knew a guy who ran in Indiana years ago, maybe 30 years ago. God love him. He just wanted to evangelize. He said, I encourage you to vote for me, but I want you to remember, you need Jesus Christ in your life. You need to come to the Lord. I mean, those were his commercials. He had a heart for evangelism, and he knew that his ads had to be run because of the law. So he ran them. Think about what you would like to say to the people in your area. Think about what you'd like to say if you had access to a 30 or 60 second commercial. If you're a federal candidate, you can do it. Talk to you soon.